Articulations, SmartShapes, and Expressions. Click on the File menu, Open, and open any one of your Go Tell Aunt Rhodie scores containing all of the notes. You are ready to complete your score by adding markings and repeats, making final edits, and formatting the page. After entering all of the notes in a score, I prefer to enter any articulations first. I enter slurs and phrase markings next, and then dynamics and expressions. The articulation tool. Let's start with the articulations. Articulations include markings such as a staccato, accent, and fermata that are attached to a note. I prefer to enter the articulations in scroll view since it is easier to keep track of the measure numbers. Click on the View menu, Scroll View. Remember, the measure number of the leftmost measure showing on screen is found in the measure box at the bottom of the window. Click on the Articulation tool. Click on the first notehead in Measure 1 where you want to add an accent. The Articulation palette opens. Choose the accent mark and click Select. Click on the second note, choose the staccato, and select. The third note, staccato, and select. To delete an articulation, click on the handle or the little box to highlight it and press Delete. In Measure 9, click on the whole note middle C and click the fermata marking. In the bass staff, I'll enter the fermata, grab the handle, and drag down under the note to flip it. Finish entering the accents, staccatos, and fermatas in the score. The SmartShape tool. SmartShapes are stretchable markings such as slurs, hairpins, and 8VA dotted line markings. When you click on the SmartShape tool, a SmartShape palette should appear on your screen. If not, click on the Window menu, SmartShape Palette, to turn it on. Before we enter the SmartShapes, let's click on the View menu, Page View, so we can view our score as it will be printed. Click on the Slur tool in the SmartShape palette. To enter the two-note slur in Measure 4, just double-click on the first note. The slur will automatically go to the next note. To enter a multiple note slur in Measure 5, on the first note of the slur, double-click, hold, and drag down onto the last notehead of the slur. When the last note is highlighted, release the mouse. To delete a slur, click on the large handle and press Delete. The slurs you enter typically don't need a lot of editing, but if you have long phrase markings where you need to adjust the shape to avoid collisions with other items, click on the large slur handle to bring up the slur editing handles. Grab one of the smaller diamond-shaped handles and drag to edit. To enter the hairpins, click on the Crescendo tool in the SmartShape palette. Place the mouse over Measure 3 where you want to place the marking. If your cursor is above the midway point between the staves, the cursor arrow will point up and the marking will attach to the staff above. If the arrow is pointing down, it will attach to the staff below. Double-click, hold, and drag the mouse to the right to attach a crescendo to a note, beat, or right bar line. If you need to move the marking after entering, click on the large handle and drag to the desired position. Now I'll highlight the decrescendo tool and go to Measure 7 and double-click, hold, and drag. There is no need to close the SmartShape palette. It will automatically close when you click out of the SmartShape tool. The Expression tool. The Expression tool contains markings such as dynamics, tempo markings and alterations, rehearsal marks, expressive and technique text. You can also create your own expressions if desired. Expressions are measure attached, so if you move your music around on the page, the expressions remain attached to the measure where they were entered. Let's enter the dynamic markings in the score. Click on the Expression tool. In Measure 1, double-click on the first note in the treble staff. The expression palette opens. In the left column, choose the Dynamics category. Highlight the forte marking and click Assign. Grab the handle to drag into place. The dotted line shows the beat where the expression is attached. Go to Measure 5 and enter the mezzo piano. To delete an expression, click on the handle and press Delete. Since we are done entering the markings, save your work by clicking on the File menu, Save.